At the state capitol, Tennessee lawmakers are moving into legally uncharted territory. A new House bill would make it a crime for someone to remain in Tennessee after receiving a final deportation order. Republican leaders say this is about public safety and taxpayer dollars, but critics say it could put Tennessee on a collision course with the U.S. Constitution. Here's News 2's Kelly Milan.
House bill would create a new state-level offense. If someone receives a final deportation order under federal immigration law and remains in Tennessee, they could face criminal prosecution by the state.
And just because you can get here illegally does not mean that you're entitled to be here.
The Republican lawmakers estimate illegal immigration costs Tennessee taxpayers close to $1 billion.
What we are worried about is the number of illegal immigrants who have murdered, robbed, abused, raped people in the state of Tennessee, and what that has done to victims and what that has done to dollars.
But the bill raises a fundamental legal question. Immigration enforcement has long been considered the responsibility of the federal government. More than a decade ago, the Supreme Court drew a firm line, saying this new bill introduced will test that precedent.
It violates the supremacy clause as well as the holding in United States versus Arizona.
In 2012, Arizona had passed its own sweeping immigration law, giving state authorities broad power to arrest and prosecute undocumented immigrants. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down key parts of that law, holding that immigration enforcement is primarily a federal matter, and states cannot create their own parallel immigration crimes. Much of this new Tennessee bill, Gerstein says, relies on Supreme Court decision being reinterpreted or overturned.
I have a feeling that they foresee that there will be a challenge to it at some point. So many things that we think will never happen seem to come to light. So in that sense, we never know. But immigration is definitely something within the federal government's purview.
If House Bill 1704 becomes law, a legal challenge is likely. And once again, the courts may be asked to decide where state authority ends and federal power begins. Back to you, Bob.